the year. The time is here. Now let's celebrate them. Welcome to the favorite books of 2023. Good day. My name's Christine Riccio, and today I'm going to be sharing my favorite books of the year. I've been doing this since 2012, so I have videos for every single year. And these are like my favorites of the books that I read this year, and I don't put them on lightly. Like if they're on the list, they're my favorites. Like I want to reread them. I have reread them. Like I love them. They're favorites. They're not just favorites of the year. They're favorites that I read during the year that are going on my list of favorite books. Does that make sense? With the honorable mention section. And I'm gonna slip a book in that I read this year. You probably haven't yet because it's not out. And that's Attached to the Hip by Christine Riccio. Maybe you've heard, this is my new book. This is an arc of my novel that's coming out May 21st, 2024. Look at it, it's here in paper. It's printed! I love this book so much. Like, I try not to play favorites, but I'm obsessed with this book. Our lead character's name is Ori. She's like 6 months out of college. She's trying to figure out post-college life, basically. It's not going the best. It's a rough time. She ends up applying to be on Survivor, but she's actually cast on the Survivor spin-off with a romantic slant. So she ends up stranded on an island playing this game for $1 million, literally attached by 8 feet of rope to another person. And that other person is her high school crush, who she hasn't seen in 4 years. And they're competing together now for $1 million prize on this game reality show that's a lot like Survivor. It is so much fun. There's just like so much relationship stuff that I love. And I'm really hoping that you love it too. I had the most fun writing it. I mean, if you watched my vlogs, you know, you were here. And it's available for pre-order right now. The link is at the top of my description. Pre-orders are so important. If you don't know about pre-orders and you're like, why would I pre-order it? I'll just get it when it comes out. Pre-orders actually are so incredibly important to like my career, to people like ordering the book, to like the bookshops ordering the book, and to like the publishers sending me places. Like if there's not enough pre-orders, they don't do that. So if you're planning on reading the book, if this sounds exciting to you, this like adventure rom-com, I would greatly appreciate you clicking that button and pre-ordering it from your favorite book place. I'm so excited for you to get to meet the characters. I'm in love with them. If you've already pre-ordered, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. And if you haven't pre-ordered yet, like, what's cooler than getting yourself an early, late book Christmas present that'll release in 6 months? Attached at the Hip. All right, so that's if I actually have an honorable mention that I didn't write myself. I had so much fun listening to the audiobook Thank You for Listening by Julia Whelan. If you've listened to Julia Whelan's audiobooks before, like she's done so many of Taylor Jenkins Reid's audiobooks, she's done all of Emily Henry's audiobooks, like she's phenomenal. She's an audiobook actor icon. If you've listened to a Julia Whelan audiobook, you know. I don't have to convince you. If you haven't, you have to. So she does the audiobook for her own novel. This is a rom-com. And I love how quirky it is and how much I learned about audiobooks that I didn't know, because the lead character is an audiobook narrator. And I just loved getting to live in that world and see the publishing world through that lens. If that sounds interesting to you, highly recommend picking it up. Coming in at 5 on the list this year is one I read via ebook and haven't gotten in physical form yet. And that is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. It was so fun, so good. It's about 2 overachievers in their senior year of high school. It takes place, I think, on the day that they graduate. They've been battling for valedictorian. They're nemesises, they're nemesi. They are each other's nemesis. They've always been at each other's throats academically, and now they're graduated and they're doing this like senior scavenger hunt, and they're forced to work together, and they kind of realize that they love each other throughout the night. Like, it's one of those books that takes place over like a 12-hour period. So fun, and the dialogue is so cute. And if you haven't read it yet, I think you're really gonna love it. And Rachel Lynn Solomon has a sequel coming out next year, which I'm so pumped for. I love her writing style. I read, I think, 3 of her books this year. Enjoyed them all. This is definitely my favorite. Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. Coming Coming in at number 4 this year is another one I don't have in physical form. And that's because it came out in hard copy, and all the rest of the author's books are in soft copy. I just want to buy it in soft cover, and that is Happy Place by Emily Henry. If you haven't jumped on the Emily Henry train yet, and you love a good rom-com, you're missing out. She's just so excellent. She's a goddess of the rom-com genre. I love all of her books. Happy Place was no exception, and I feel like a lot of people may have been resistant to picking this one up because the blurb of what it's about just sounds sad. It's a couple that has broken up that has to pretend to be together while they're on this trip with all their friends. They go on this annual trip together every year, and they don't want to ruin the trip by saying that they've broken up because they were like engaged and they're all one big friend group. It was just like the most relatable thing to anyone in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s who's going through like all these life changes where like maybe you can't see your friends as often. It's getting harder and harder to see them, so this trip is getting more and more important to them, but also harder and harder to organize. The romance is just as fun as any of the other romances, okay? It's not depressing, so stop thinking that, okay? It's formatted a lot like People We Meet on Vacation, where we flip-flop between two timelines, which I love. I love when a story is told that way. We are seeing Win and Harriet meet and get to know each other and fall for each other, and we're seeing Win and Harriet now on this vacation with all their friends. We don't know why they've broken up exactly, but we find out as they go along, and it has a happy ending, y'all. So it does not end with them broken up. You know that, because it's a romance. Get that out of your head and pick up Happy Place. I know, I don't have it. I should at least be holding the ebook, which is what I got. I got the audiobook because guess who reads it? Julia Whelan. Got it! Get the audiobook for yourself. I have the audiobook and I have the ebook. I just don't have the physical copy. I'm waiting on the world to release the soft cover. Lose my mind. Dang, we're already down to the top 3. Coming in at 3 in 2023 is The Phenomenon, the iconic romantasy. Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing! You probably heard of this one. If you haven't, you've been out of the book bubble and out of like the world bubble for a while when it comes to reading. This book is so much fun. If you liked Divergent, you're gonna love Fourth Wing. It's adult Divergent. That's how everyone pitched it to me, and that's accurate. It's accurate. There's fantasy, but it's like mild fantasy. It's not fantasy that's like trudging through mud to learn the words. You kind of jump right in. It comes little by little. Like, it's not hard to grasp it. And the romance is so addictive. It's got all our favorite tropes. I did a whole reading vlog for this one. It was such a fun journey. It's one of those books that you just don't want to put down. It's a thrill ride. It's just a roller coaster of emotions and shit and people being murdered, and it's just a lot of really exciting stuff all at once. Our lead character is an underdog. She's being thrown into this academy where she's learning to be part of the military, and the military are full of dragon riders. So she needs to be trained to be a dragon rider, and it's rough, man. There's a lot of fighting involved. There's a lot of very dangerous stuff, and it makes for a very fun, thrilling book, and the romance is everything. Hit it up. This is like, I feel like the book of the year. It's just so big. You know, it's one of those cultural phenomenons that we're gonna look back and be like, remember 2023, the year of Fourth Wing? And this is a series, so there's gonna be more, and I don't know, how all the other books are gonna be, but I'm excited. I'm reading Iron Flame, the second one, right now. Fourth Wing is such a treat. Such a treat for the escapist romantic soul.
Please hit me up.
In at number 2 this year is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez's books. She writes romantic comedies so well. Her dialogue is so on par. They are so funny. So are Emily Henry. It's just, I didn't say that they were hilarious, but like, it's kind of assumed when I say she's the master of a rom-com, but like, Abby Jimenez, also a master of the rom-com genre. Her books tend to be a little heavier in terms of like, the conflict, so there's a little bit sadder. There's just aspects of the plot that go harder in the sad direction, but she is hilarious and her characters are so endearing and so fun to watch interact, and I related so much to so many aspects of this book. Our leads are named Brianna and Jacob, they're both doctors, and Jacob has anxiety, social anxiety, in a way that I've never seen really in a book before. before. There was just things that he did. I've never seen the things pointed out in the way that they're pointed out in yours truly that were so relatable to just my personal experience with anxiety and things that I didn't even know that were my anxiety. And then when she pointed them out, I was like, whoa, I do that too, and I do this, and I do that, and it's because, like, I am anxious about this thing, and I want to know everything I can about it. Just, like, things like mapping out exactly, like, Google mapping and, like, looking at pictures of every area I'm gonna go to so I know exactly what it looks like and exactly where I'm gonna park, and, like, looking at the menu ahead of time because I need to know exactly what I'm gonna order. Like, all those things are things that Jacob does that I didn't even, like, connect in my brain is like attached to my anxiety. It was just very validating. And also the romance was amazing. It was so fun. So it's a fake dating trope and I loved it so much. You should read it. You're probably gonna love it. I don't want to say guaranteed, but I'm gonna say like 98%. You should read everything that Abby Jimenez has ever written. This one and Part of Your World are my favorites, but I've enjoyed them all. I couldn't read one of them because, like I said, they go a little hard in like the doctor realm sometimes, and my specific brand of hypochondriac can't handle everything. There's even like one of the characters has an issue going on that got me like a little bit anxiety, hypochondriac-y while I was reading this, but it was very light on that end. Like I was able to kind of just like skim those sections without going insane. Life's Too Short is the one I haven't read. And last, coming in at number 1, my favorite book, 2023. Coming in at number 1 is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. Oh my god, this book was so fucking good. This is the second book in the 9th House series. I still think not enough people are talking about this series. It's an adult series. It is very, very dark. So if that's not your jam, if like dark college, secret society shit isn't your jam, this might not be your jam, but it sure as fuck is my jam. This is like almost my exact jam. Like if we had a little bit more romance, because there is a romance and I love it, but if it was like a little heavier, that would be my exact jam. This is like 97% my jam. It's so good. So our lead character can see dead people, okay? So that's the supernatural pitch. It's hard to explain. Like there is magic accessible by these secret societies, and magic is like something that only the wealthy people in these societies has access to. And then they bring in our lead character because she has this very rare ability to see ghosts. And ghosts are fucking scary as shit. Like, it's really hard to explain this book, but it takes place at Yale. And we're delving into these secret societies, and there are murders, and our lead character is in charge of keeping all the societies out of trouble, basically. And when a murder occurs, like, she has to figure out if the societies were involved and how to fix that so that the societies like don't get shut down or shut them down. It's amazing. The audiobooks are fantastic. So I've done the audiobook for both of these books, 9th House and Hellbent, and I reread 9th House before going into Hellbent. I wanted to know exactly everything about the societies because you kind of forget after a year. So good on the reread, and then this was so excellent on the first read. I mean, 9th House was so excellent on the first read too. Like, I just love them so much. I'm so excited for the third book. I have no idea when it's coming, but I am fucking pumped. I have a book talk for 9th House that I just never edited this year, but like I spent hours recording so that I'd remember all of the secret societies. A girl is trying to juggle too many jobs. But those are my favorites of the 2023 year. I'd love to hear yours because I did not read enough books. I'm so excited about Spotify Premium's like 15-hour per month audiobook allowance because I've already read 2 novels since that's been instated. So I am going to take advantage of that. That's like a free book every single month. I'm just going to remind you before I say goodbye, my book Attached at the Hip is available for pre-order. If you can't pre-order it, it's also super helpful to request it from your library because libraries are also so important in spreading the word about a new book. Adding it to your TBR on Goodreads is also super helpful. I'm going to leave links to all of those things in the description. Also, if you don't know, I post weekly on other platforms. If you're not following me already on like Instagram or following my podcast, the podcast turned 1. My podcast is called Those Forking Fangirls, and we talk about everything nerdy pop culture. So like books, TV, movies, like everything that if you follow me, you probably like. I've got a segment today in Taylor Swift news every single week. And that podcast comes out every Friday. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I'd love to have you over there. It's my favorite thing to do. Like, I love talking about the stuff I love and conversing about it with y'all. So I'll leave a link to the podcast. It's visual and audio, so it's on all of your favorite podcast listening apps, but you can watch it on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@THOSEFORKINGFANGIRLS. I make videos as much as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great holiday season, and I will see you next time. Bye!